Hi there, welcome to the Binance Coin Weekly Wyckoff Wild Speculation. We're looking at the weekly chart of Binance Coin, and we've just seen like another two candles again, testing and bouncing back from the purple line, the automatic reaction defined support or resistance line, depending on whether the price is above or below. Before getting into the details for this week, as usual, a disclaimer: these sessions are not financial advice, they're for education research purpose only and also for discussion with you and the wider online community. So your comments are very welcome. Let's return to the chart. So I won't be overly excited about what happened over the week, given like all these news we're expecting that will drive the market crazy. This particular twin red and green happened before in February. A very close like looking kind of thing. However, we see it's like a lower top over here compared to the candle we have like a week before. So be very careful what's going to happen next. In terms of Wyckoff pattern, we see like lower and lower and lower and lower peaks, and if I draw a line over here, it looks like it's going to, there's a possibility still that it hits the pink line over here at around 610, 612, that kind of level. That's the level of the buying climax, or like second test, depending on which you're looking at. Like what I mean is, depending on whether you're looking at the line chart or the candlesticks chart. Anyway, it's getting close to that resistance level, and we are seeing lower and lower peaks. So that's the key point. And if we go back to the volume, you see it obviously has been declining as well. So there's a chance that this purple line will be retested when next week comes. This week's candle is still like there's still 26 hours for everybody to finish this week's candle, and we'll see when Monday begins what surprises are going to come. And if we look at the daily chart, we've seen this yellow line that I've just drawn. I will keep that at the weekly level only, so it won't disturb what we're going to look at in the daily. However, it's still useful because we have to first look at the macro or more high level forces. Then we can decide what or how bullish or bearish we'll look at in terms of daily. So like I said, the volume has been declining, and given like these 2 days are weekend and some people are probably having a vacation somewhere, and Easter is around the corner, so their activity may be dying down a little. So if we look at the line chart, let me push this downward flag tighter. So we're seeing a breakout. It's pretty much confirmed because like we have 2 consecutive days of candles that's closing outside of the box already. However, similar to what we have seen during the week of mid-March, like between March 10th and basically March 22nd, around close to 2 weeks time, that ended a little bit above the mid line of the pink box, the short-term playground zone. So this is likely going to be again the resistance line for this current surge in price. That line is currently staying at around 612, 611, 612, around that level. So it obviously will test that line, similar to what we've seen in these areas. Once it get close, whether this will be rejected again this time, or would it break out for like a week or so before it returns to the lower half of the playground zone again? We'll take a close look, because if I turn this to line chart, we'll see started from actually December last year. We see lower and lower peaks. So it seems like it's getting, if we look at very short term, obviously we see like high peaks. Oh, it fell and then there's peaks again. However, if we look back to December, it's all these peaks are getting lower and lower. So even if you just look at, like starting Jan 6 over here, when it first got rejected like by this short-term playground zone, the peaks are pretty much every peak is pretty much below or just a little bit higher than this yellow line. So this is more like a transparent downward resistant line that has defined the tops of every climb. If this line is true, and as we see we're getting closer to this cross, there's a chance that, like I said, the 610, 6 to 612, that kind of range may be the next top of this little spike. If it does break outside of this yellow line, we'll still have to see whether it's going to just stay there for like one day and then the next day it immediately returns to the like below the line. Be very careful of these fake bulls. When we look at this, you probably already noticed if I enlarge this so it's easier for people to see, right? So here, what I'm trying to say is it rose and closed at this level above the yellow line. The next day, it immediately tested the top edge of the pink box and then got rejected very forcefully and closes below the yellow line. So that's the thing I'm trying to bring out, that we have to be very careful. Even if this time it breaks above the yellow line and then magically from this level, remember this distance is very wide now. This gap is very wide. It's almost over $100 gap compared to here. That was only like $40 gap. So it's very unlikely to see a 20% boost all of a sudden, unless there's some even crazier news than tariffs. So remember, if it breaks above the yellow line, be very sensitive of what's pushing that or what's making that happen. We're seeing declining volume. We're seeing this invisible ceiling that's trending downwards. Eventually, if like this, if we treat this like a relatively flat bottom, this downward triangle, this descending triangle may be the depth zone, or like if you're into candlesticks pattern, this may be the like the bullish starting gun, like in a running race, right? You have this whistle or whatever sound that bang, that signals, oh, a fall is coming. Let's see whether that's the case. I'll keep these two lines over here. So we see this downward triangle. So both weekly, we see a downward, like a invisible ceiling. Daily as well, and also potentially like a descending triangle as well. So that's pretty much it for Binance Coin. I'll move on to Solana next.